Hello and welcome to the common sizing video. In today's video, we'll be answering the question, how do we compare businesses of vastly different sizes to our own companies? And to do that, of course, we'll be answering the questions of what is common sizing, why is common sizing important, and then we'll do a walkthrough video of how to actually calculate those variables for common sizing. So plainly put, the definition for common sizing is the method of comparing financial data by stating each element of a financial statement as a percentage when compared to a base point. And what this really means is that when we're looking at comparing our company to another company, for example, we might in our own company have around $800,000 in revenue, and we want to compare ourselves to a company with $8 million in revenue. Well, of course, we would expect the company with more revenue to also have more net income. And so when we're looking at comparing these two companies, it might be more like comparing apples to oranges when we're looking at certain variables. So common sizing is really just the taking of our net income or some other variable and putting that against our sales revenue, so creating a percentage. And then if we do that for both companies, we can really get a more accurate look, at least on a percent wise, of how we're performing. And so we'll look more specifically at what that means. When we're looking at the equation, we have common size amount, or the percentage that we're going to create for a common size variable, and that's equal to the analysis amount over a base amount. So potentially that could be our net income over potentially our sales revenue, whatever variable that we're choosing from our income statement. We can also choose some variables from our balance sheet. So that could be our liabilities or total liabilities over our base amount of our total assets. And so we'll take a look at why this is important. So we can use this information specifically to create benchmarks for our own company based on percentage points. And we compare this to our competitors. So if we're looking at our company and we want to compare it to a different company, and we'll say that their net income margin is 25%, and we see that our company, maybe a smaller company, or we're just starting our company, is only at 12% of our net income margin, then what we can look at is maybe what expenses are we having in our company that the other company isn't having, what percentages those are taking up, and maybe we can run our company more efficiently. And what this also does is this creates benchmarks. So this will require some research against other companies, or at least looking at industry averages for your own company. And then looking at maybe is our company underperforming those benchmarks? Are we overperforming? Gives us a good benchmark for performance. So this also allows us to make decisions for our companies. So if we are seeing that our company is underperforming in certain areas based off of our common size amounts, then we can figure out exactly what expenses or what we're doing in our company that is causing or driving a lower performance based on the benchmarks that we create. So in this video, we'll take a look at how to actually use common sizing. We'll bring up the equation again. We'll also go through and run a few examples. So the first thing that we'll look at, hopefully you're at this point comfortable or at least familiar with the income statement that we have for Computer Services, Inc. So first we have our sales revenue. This will be our base variable for that equation. And we also have our net income, which will be our analysis variable. So net income of $10,500, sales revenue of $15,300. And again, we have our equation right here of analysis amount over base amount, which in this case, the base amount is sales revenue, net income, the analysis amount. Multiply it by 100, and we get roughly 69% for our common sized variable. And this variable is also known as our net profit margin. So we're looking at comparing our companies. If we wanted to compare net profit margin as a percent, this is how we would use common sizing. And then here we have, if you would like to practice with the entire income statement, you can go ahead and do that at this time. You can pause the video or take a screenshot of it if you'd like. What we're doing here is we're looking at everything common sized amount based on a base variable of sales revenue. So you can see here we have our operating income is 70% of our sales revenue, a gross margin, or at least the amount left over from our cost of goods sold, is 65% of our sales revenue. And so this is just the full income statement common sized as sales revenue. We can also take a look at using a base variable from our balance sheet. In this, we'll be using our total assets of 43,400, and we'll be looking at common sizing our total liabilities of 8,000. So we have total liabilities of 8,000, and we have total assets of 43,400. And again, total liabilities will be our analysis amount, and total assets will be our base amount that we're using for common sizing. We multiply that by 100%, and we get roughly 18% for that common sized variable. And this ratio of our total liabilities over total assets, which we'll learn in our financial ratio analysis section, is our debt to asset ratio. So again, this is just how we use common sizing, how we build a variable, and we'll use that variable to not only create some sort of benchmark for our company, but also as a better tool to compare our company versus another company, which might be of a different size.
My name is Rick Haskell, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video as part of the Bill and Vieve Gore School of Business's Business Certificate Series. I'm a finance professor in the business school, where I'm also the director for the college's Center for Financial Wellness. The Business Certificate Series is offered through the center as part of our outreach through the Gore School of Business. You can follow us on social media through Westminster's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook pages. You can use the QR codes provided or simply go to these websites. Thank you.